People have surrendered authorship of their lives to other people, society, to situations. A lot of people are moving on autopilot.
So it's almost like we are all in the matrix, and this book is is an attempt to unplug us from the matrix, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people are just surviving expectations. Authenticity is very expensive, and it can cost them approval, cost them relationships, cost them status and comfort. So people often choose acceptance over truth. But eventually, the pretense becomes exhausting. That's why a lot of people feel lost, even when everything
Yeah.
looks. Yeah.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay.
On the street, and I got my swag on.
Welcome to Kanayo's Corner. On this episode, I've got someone I'm going to introduce as a writer, a business mogul, a security. I mean, you are a man of many hats, Charles Okpala. You are the author of this book, I Am Not a Painter. How would you describe yourself, Charles?
Thanks for having me. First of all, Kanayo. This is an honor. I am by day I'm a cybersecurity specialist. Um, I work for the government, but by night I am a brand strategist, a business resilient expert, and at the core, a a speaker and an author. Yeah,
And you're joining from the US,
I
from
am
Maryland, right?
from yes, I'm joining from Maryland, USA.
Right. So, Charles, I got your book off Amazon. Now, this is not a show to promote your book, but I found it, well, I've started to read it and I find it fascinating. So I asked you to come on my show and, I have a conversation around this. Yeah. So, so it's called I Am Not a Painter. And obviously, this is a very striking title. Why this title and how did it come about?
Um, because painters create images, they decide what gets seen, what gets hidden, and what colors tell the story. I realize that most people are painting versions of themselves just to survive socially. They paint success, they paint strength, confidence, and even happiness. The title was my way of rejecting performance as identity.
Right.
And just to tell people I'm not here to paint an illusion anymore.
Right. So what's this book about then? I mean, for those who haven't started to read it, so I've started to read it, so I pretty much know where it's going to. And I see it like not really, not a book, like a manual to
Mhm.
life. But what would you say this book is about?
At its core, the book is about identity. A lot of us spend our lives performing roles so well that we forget who we are underneath them.
Right.
I'm Not a Painter is really more of an invitation to separate your worth from your performance. It's about learning that you don't have to become a masterpiece for the world to fully deserve peace within yourself.
Right. Um, and I tell you what, right, I can relate with that. But I'll tell you how I think I relate with that as the show goes on. But tell me though, like, what was the inspiration, like behind you writing this book?
Um, there wasn't there wasn't one dramatic moment. It was more like emotional exhaustion catching up with me. I started realizing how many people around me look successful, but internally there was a disconnect within
Yeah.
themselves, and including me at certain points. The book came from that tension between achievement and authenticity.
Achievement and authenticity. What does that really mean? Like achievement? So do you mean like achievement, like career-wise, all of
Yeah.
that?
Like you can be succeeding at the wrong things and you're not happy. You can be on a
Right.
job. You can be like for me, it was me acting out different roles that I knew were not for me, and I was succeeding at them. But inside of me, there was this massive disconnect. every time I looked in the mirror, I didn't like who I saw. I knew that I was performing and I was exhausted. I was exhausted. And I know and I've met people who are going through the same thing. I am currently mentoring young adults who are going through the same thing. So I know that it is rampant, it is everywhere. So instead of having to deal with one person after the other, I decided to write a
Right. Right. That's really, inspiring. So is this book like a personal journey for you or a professional one or, or a bit of both?
It's a bit of both. So it's not I didn't write it to strike any. It was more of like me telling my story, telling my memoirs and how I got through each and every stage and each and every battle I went through in those seasons I was in. So in the book, there are different frameworks that I created. I had to do an internalization that led to the simplification of the narration of the journey. So like all the frameworks there, the first the first chapter has the role audit where you audit your life. You figure out which is draining you, what is draining your energy, what is energizing you. And at that point you can then decide if what you're doing is draining you, then you know that's not for you. It's just simple frameworks that that would that would help.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at now because I'm still at the first chapter. I only just got the book, so but I'm reading it slowly. So it's like I wanted to to marinate. Yeah,
Hmm.
to just let it sink in. So I'm not in a hurry to read it. Right. So I noticed that so the foreword was written by Francis Drew, a very famous Nigerian actor. Some will know him as Ahana in Rattlesnake. So what's your relationship with him?
He is more of a mentor, an advisor. Um, when I met him, we had a conversation and we we saw that we were like-minded. We saw that we were cosmic brothers. He had gone through the same thing. He had gone through it through at some point in his life, and he was also working with individuals who are going through it, but he hasn't been able to translate the story or the message to them. And having read the book, he was like it was like he was speaking to himself. So that was why he was able to write the forward, and I do appreciate him for that.
Yeah, true. So is this book, so I have to ask this though, is this book in any way gender specific?
No, it
Good.
cuts across everywhere, every gender. Age group is between 16 and above. It's from the moment you leave secondary school or high school when you're trying to decide on what you want to do with your life, when you try to decide if the advice you're getting from society is what you want to do. Like a lot of us, our parents had charted a path for us that, you should do this, you should do that, but eventually you find that your energies are in a different field or in a different career. To avoid wasting years, I mean, there's no such thing as wasting years, but
Yeah, because
to
every
avoid,
journey, you learn on the
yeah,
way, don't you? Yeah.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So do you think that, that many people are not intentional about their lives and they're just like reactionary?
yes. People have surrendered authorship of their lives to other people, society, to situations. A lot of people are moving on autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So so it's almost like we are all in the matrix, and this book is it's an attempt to unplug us from the matrix, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people are just surviving expectations. Authenticity is very expensive, and it can cost them approval, cost them relationships, cost them status and comfort. So people often choose acceptance over truth. Um, but eventually, the pretense becomes exhausting, and That's why a lot of people feel lost, even when everything
Yeah.
looks. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the process of writing this book, right? So was it like, so did you get like any, you like sort of healing or, or transformation as you were writing the book, or you had gotten to that point before you started to write the book?
I had gotten to so I I had gotten to that point first. I had to do a lot of work on myself. I had to do a lot of background work. I did a lot of therapy. I did a lot of unlearning and relearning. And it's then helped me. It then helped me come to a state of mind where when I can actually help people.
Okay. And you said you are a mentor now, so you're helping young adults now to like, to sort of find their footing in life, isn't it?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Should we expect more books from you?
But yes, yes. I'm in the works. So I Am Not a Painter is a 3-part book. This is the second one. The first one spoke about my journey through therapy and
Okay.
how it healed the emotional child in me. And that was from that point that this book was birthed.
Okay, so there is a first book already.
Yeah, there's the first book, I'm Not a
What's
Painter.
it called?
I Am Not a Painter. It's a 3-part series. I'm Not a
Oh,
Painter in I'm Not a Painter. This has the subtitle. Then there's a third I'm Not a Painter coming out
okay. So
according, according to my publisher next year.
so is the first book already published?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so there you go then. Fantastic, fantastic. Wow. Okay, so in this book, obviously, right, from the little I've read so far, you use a lot of, a lot of art metaphors in describing things. So yeah, so is that because you are an artist? Yeah, so you're a painter, aren't you?
So for me, the book is art is the interpretation.
Yeah.
Two people can look at the same painting and see things completely different. And life is similar. It is said that life imitates art.
Mm-hmm.
And we're constantly assigning meaning to our experiences, our failures, and our relationships. So, but the danger is when we let other people define the meaning of our lives for us
Yeah.
instead of discovering it ourselves. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. But literally, you are a painter. You do brush on canvas, don't you?
I did. So it was part of the therapy. It was so during therapy, my therapist had me do a, do a lot of exercises to help with my unlocking a lot of the things that were blocked in my emotions and everything. And painting was one of it. Painting helped. So did writing. That it was the first book is literally the 11 sessions,
I see.
11 pertinent sessions that I did with my therapist. And those were assignments after each session, he would tell me, okay, go and write on this situation, go and write on that situation, go and write how this made you feel. And it wasn't just me speaking as a victim. It was
Mm.
also me identifying the role I played in those situations. I had to be brutally honest. And at every point in time, it was like when I was writing, when there was a blockage, I would
Yeah.
write, I would paint, and the painting helped. Yeah.
This is fantastic. You talked about failure. So, in your journey, so maybe this is a personal question though, but how have failure and self-doubt shaped your personal journey?
Um, failure humbled me.
Okay.
Self-doubt refined me. Um, I don't, I don't think confidence comes from always winning. I think like real confidence comes from surviving moments when you thought you wouldn't recover. Some of my biggest growth came from situations that bruised my ego,
Yeah.
but those situations they strengthened my character. They did.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, in this book, right? So I'm getting so like the sense of a lot of resilience in
Mm-hmm.
you. So what exactly, or how would you like sort of like describe resilience in real life? Outside of just the buzzword, hey, be strong and all of that, but how is that in real life, being resilient?
Um, Resilience is quieter than people think. That's just sometimes it's not even about bouncing back. Sometimes
Okay.
it's about getting out of
Maybe.
bed while your mind is
Yeah.
heavy, like struggling. Take for example, now I'm on my workout journey right now, and every day is a struggle.
Yeah.
But I know I need to be in the gym, and sometimes it's choosing not to become bitter after disappointment. Um, real resilience is mostly and often invisible.
Right.
It's how will I put it? It's consistency in private moments. Yes.
Consistency in private moments.
Hmm.
I see. So will you be writing the book on your gym struggles?
No. the I'll leave the secret for the next book. But the next book is the final book of India. I'm not painted series. I'm already working on it. Um I'm already on my retreat, on my writing retreat. It's also the gym is also helping me. Um I'm taking on different exercises to unlock. There's this to avoid the the thought of I have arrived.
Yeah.
I have to travel down different memory paths in my head to get out the true stories, to get out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so before we wrap up this show, right? I'm just curious, how long did it take you to write this book, like from start to finish?
This particular one took me 6 months.
Wow.
It took me half of last year from the 31st of July to the 10th of January. Yes.
Wow.
Hmm. But
Okay.
the first one took me 1 year.
Oh wow. Wow.
The
That's
first
even
one took me
longer.
all of pandemic. I was, yeah.
Okay. Wow. So for someone who feels stuck in their life, in their struggles, and they haven't got access to your book, right? And what would you say to them, or how would you, like ask them to start?
I like them to start with honesty. They don't need
Honesty.
motivation. They need honesty.
Maybe being
They
true
need
to
to ask,
yourself, yeah?
yes, they need to ask yourself, what part of my life am I maintaining just because I'm afraid of disappointing people? They need to realize that most breakthroughs begin when you stop lying to yourself about what you truly want, need, and feel. Like, just be honest. And that is what people cannot do.
Yeah.
People are scared to look in the mirror. They're scared to have those
You do
serious
honest
conversations.
conversations with
Yes.
themselves, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So on this show, right, I always say that life is like a game of football and we all play to win because obviously this is a football channel, but we're talking about life now. So it looks like you are winning in this game called life, aren't you?
I'm I'm at a point, I'm
Yeah.
better than where I used to be.
Hence
So
you're
I will
winning.
acknowledge that, yes.
Right. So the message that I'm getting from this book, even though, like I said, I haven't read the whole book, but I'm getting the vibe that a lot of people are not playing their own game. They are playing the game that society or, or someone has instructed them to play, and they're not really playing their own game. And the goal of life should be to play your own game. So does that make any
Correct.
sense?
That makes sense. Yes. Yes.
All right. Yeah, I think we're going to end the show shortly. But so for people who get this book, so first of all, how can they get this book?
For for those in Nigeria and in Africa, you can get it on seller.com, seller.com/ I am not a painter. If you're in Nigeria, you can walk into physical stores. We're at Roving Heights around the country. In Lagos, we're at Terra Culture and Quintessence in Victoria Island, and all Roving Heights in Lagos. Then in Abuja, we are at Nesta Novels Roving Heights, and all the other stores. Yes.
Okay. And obviously in the
And for
UK,
those in diaspora, it's on Amazon. Amazon.com/I'm Not a Painter.
okay, so I'll put up a link to all of these places in the video description. All right, so so what should people expect to get out of this book after reading it?
What I truly want is once people read this book, they shed the desire to please people. They become true authors of their own lives.
Yeah,
Nobody has to, you have nothing to, you have no one to please. You live authentically. You live true to yourself. And that's the honest truth. Just be true.
100%. I agree. So I'm still reading it and I hope to finish it and get exactly that. Charles, it's been an absolute pleasure having
Thank
you
you.
on this show. Before I let you off, any final thoughts, any final words?
Honestly, keep living, keep loving, and give grace. That's all.
100%. Thank you, my brother.
Thank
And
you, sir.
yeah, so for everyone who's watching this on YouTube, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Spotify, just give it a like or a comment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.